and I have nicknamed the Fixer,
The
Miss Melanie.
Fixer!
Melanie is one of the country's leading authorities on streamlining businesses to maximize profits. She graduated top of her class in engineering school, and in her Master of Engineering Management program, she holds a number of certifications, including a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. She's helped top institutions transform teams and revamp processes. She's written and delivered courses for top institutions like Harvard University, and she's helped businesses at all levels across a number of different industries. She's been a senior executive at multiple top institutions, and she speaks all over the world on how to automate your customer engagement flow, starting with not with attracting, capturing your perfect lead all the way through the never-ending follow-up. Melanie, we're so glad that you're here.
Oh, thank you, Angel. Thanks for having me. And thank you for everyone for being here. I know that there's this other pandemic going around of summit fatigue. So thank you for being on this summit because this is a unique summit. So if you haven't realized it yet, you're in for a treat because there's just it's unlike any other, right? Because you guys have fun games and challenges in addition to all the speakers. So I'll talk more about that in a second. But my name is Melanie McSally, and I am your profit optimization and technology expert. I'm here to talk to you about optimizing your profits. And I get this all the time. What does that even mean? How can you maximize or optimize my profits, right? And that's a great question, and I'm totally going to answer it. But before I do that, I want to give another special shout out and thank you to Angel and Tina, because I know it seems like forever ago now, but Angel and Tina were the very first to launch a virtual summit during this pandemic. And at the time, correct me if I'm wrong, it was because we were all feeling a need to connect, even though we were physically separated. And so they quickly pivoted and used all of their geniuses to pull together the first ever Connect Summit and then turn it into a series and then a television show or a podcast, or what are you calling your thing? A morning talk show. Yeah. And so they've really brought us all together in new and innovative ways. And all the traits, same thing, right? All the traits that made them come up with this summit are the very same traits that I appreciate most about them and why I call them both friends. So thank you for not just having me on the summit and asking me to be a keynote, but for letting me call you friends and for being my friends and for supporting me because I love you both so much. So thank you. Okay, so before it's so weird that there's a delay. So before I answer the question on how to optimize your profits, I think it makes sense to actually define what optimization means. And it means making the best of anything. And I love this definition because before I ever looked it up, I became an entrepreneur. Before I ever looked it up, I became an engineer. Before I ever looked it up, I became known as the girl who can optimize anything. And in fact, the Lean Six Sigma, I never talk about this, but a Lean Six Sigma black belt just means that I literally have a certification to say I can optimize anything. So it means I have a black belt in process optimization. So this definition basically just sums up everything I value. It sums up how I run my life because I like to make the best out of anything. I like to not just for myself, but for everybody, allow them to focus on what they're best at, what they're genius at, by removing the roadblocks in the way. And usually those roadblocks are technology. So I just love this definition. It warms my heart that that is the definition. And it just reinforced to me when I learned what the actual literal definition was, that I'm on the right path, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in life. Because when people think of optimization, they think about processes, technology, manufacturing, systems, but really you can optimize anything. You can optimize profit, you can optimize curling your hair, you can optimize speaking to people on stage. No longer do we have to fly to a location, we can just do it on Zoom, right? So when you look at things in a different perspective, you get different results. Okay, so why do you think that most businesses fail? Do you know that most businesses fail within the first 3 years? And why do you think that is? Do you think it could be because of systems? Like they don't put the systems and processes in place to be effective, to be efficient, to create that, what did we learn in grammar school? That the fastest way to success, or the easiest way or the fastest way between points A and B is a straight line, right? So the most efficient and effective way to success is through systems and processes. So why do you think that people aren't putting these systems and processes in place? Do you think it could be because of time? Like maybe you don't have enough time to put these systems and processes in place? Do you think it could be because of money? Maybe it's too expensive to put technology in place. I get that one a lot. Or maybe you just don't have the know-how. How many of you feel like you don't even know where to start? When somebody says to you, do you have the infrastructure in place? Do you say, huh? Right? So the thing is that this is kind of a catch-22 problem, because if you had the time, the money, and the know-how, then you would have, like if you had all these systems in place, you would have the time, the money, and the know-how to actually put these things in place. So if you had systems in place, you'd have more time because you'd be doing less manual work, right? You'd be sending less emails. You'd be doing less follow-up. If you had an automated lead conversion system or a lead follow-up system, you'd have more money in your pocket because you'd convert more clients. So now you'd have the time and money to actually put the systems and processes in place. And more importantly, you'd have more time and money to focus on your love and your genius, right? And what do they say about doing the thing that you love, that you'll never work another day in your life again, right? So for those of you that didn't raise your hand, maybe it's because you have all the systems and the processes in place. I would argue you don't, but maybe you think you do, okay? So why is it that businesses that have the systems and processes in place still fail? Because most businesses fail in the first 3 years. And we know that some of those must have systems and processes in place, right? So I would go back to what I would say is you don't, right? So most of those businesses that have those systems and processes in place have the wrong systems and processes in place. So this goes back to the know-how. A lot of people aren't putting systems and processes in place because they don't know where to start. And they're afraid that they're going to do it wrong, which is then going to cost them money to do it over again. But some people like to think they do know how to do it. So they put the systems and processes in place, and then they realize they were wrong. And they do have to spend the money to go back and do it over again. So I'm going to walk you through something that you all are very familiar with. If you're a business owner, then or if you're just a human being, then you know the sales process, right? You cannot possibly be in business and not know the sales process. Whatever that process is for you, everybody knows you must make sales in order to stay in business, right? Okay, so how many of you are using the get exposure, capture that exposure, convert that exposure, and follow up with that exposure as your sales process? Get it, capture it, convert it, and follow up forever. How many of you are using that? Yeah, okay, so that's the wrong process. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. It's the age-old process. It's the process everybody uses. It's the process I used when I became an entrepreneur. We all did it. We all fell victim to it. But hindsight is 20/20, and I'm here to tell you it's wrong. Okay, so I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about me that will help answer well, who are you to tell me that I've been doing the wrong thing for all this time? All right, so I started my career as a pastry chef. Yep, so that makes me perfect in the sales process, right? No. Anyway, I was only there for a hot minute. I went into engineering right after that. And the thing about engineering, the thing that separates me from most of the people that are software engineers is that I focused on customer engagement. So I would go out, I would meet with my clients, whoever they might be. I would understand their current state, their problem, understand what they're trying to achieve, and then brainstorm solutions with them. And then from there, I would take it one step further, and I would anticipate what they need. And then when I built them a solution, I would build it with some of what they will need, along with what is going to solve their problem. So Steve Jobs once said, your most loyal customers will be the ones that know you, like you, and trust you because you anticipate what they need and provide that for them rather than building them what they want. So how many of you have waited in line for an Apple product and not even known what you were about to buy? Right? And why is that? It's because you know, based on your experience in the fact that the iPhone was the first ever phone with a camera in it, that anything that comes out of that man's brain is genius and you're going to want it. So you just go buy it. And you don't even have to know what it is ahead of time. How many of you would love to have clients that just buy to work with you before they even know what they're buying? Yeah, awesome, right? So that's the thing about engineering, is when you anticipate what they need, they know you as the genius. They don't even have to understand what you're talking about. They just follow you without question, right? And so when I went into entrepreneurship, okay, I have to tell you one more story for this to make sense, is, I have a number of degrees. Some of them are from Ivies, some of them are from not Ivies. But before that, I actually almost flunked out of high school. And I almost flunked out of high school, not because I wasn't intelligent, but because I wasn't applying myself. And I wasn't applying myself because I was being bullied. So I just wanted to be anywhere other than in school. So I was distracting myself with sports and with, extracurricular activities, including doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing as a child that we all do anyway and tell our children not to do. So I was doing all of that stuff. And so when I became an adult and I was socializing or whatever and going to game night, during trivia night, I would always opt out and be like, I have a headache, or I'm not feeling well, or I don't want to. And it was because I felt like an idiot. Even though I had graduated from an Ivy League school, even though I spent a decade at Harvard, I felt like an idiot because I didn't pay attention in some of those grammar school courses. And so there's a gap in my expertise around geography and history and politics and those kinds of things. Because to me, I don't, they're not interesting to me, so I've never gone back and filled that gap. But I always felt like, oh, I don't want them to find me out. I don't want them to think I'm an idiot or know that I'm an idiot in these different areas. And so that bled into my business life as I went into entrepreneurship. So when I went into entrepreneurship, I instantly started following the sales process that everybody else follows because, well, they must know. I mean, I'm not a sales expert, I'm a technology expert. So I'm going to follow the experts, right? I'm going to do like the experts do, and I'm going to follow this process. But what I had realized when I stumbled, so at the beginning, I wasn't making sales. Like, we don't all come out of the gate making sales, and anybody who does is lying to you. But you can fail fast and you can recover fast. And that's what I did. I fell on my face a lot and I recovered and I pivoted and I tried all these different things until I found the solution that was working for me. And the solution that worked for me is the one that I used as a technologist for the last 20 years, which was to engage with my clients, to understand their current state, to understand where they want to go for their future state, and to find that efficient process from A to Z. And so I'm here to tell you that the sales process you've been using is wrong, that there's a more optimal way to do it. And I'm basing it on engineering principles. So I'm here to tell you that you need to capture before you get exposed. And I don't mean that in the naughty way. I mean that in the angels getting me all the exposure I could ever imagine way. And you need to follow up before you convert. And I mean that in the Tina way. You guys are perfect for me. You're my perfect examples. Okay, so exactly. So I created a series called the Sales 101 Process, the Effective, Efficient Way. So this is the way to your maximum profit. So you're going to capture, then you're going to get exposed, then you're going to convert that exposure, and then you're going to follow up with them while you're building all the ways to serve them. And so this is where we are anticipating needs versus building wants. Okay? All right. So let me just take a second because I want to copy this URL into your chat. Tina and Angel don't even know this, so I'm going to up their $5,000 limit to something much higher because the bundle that I'm gifting all of you for being on this call today is I'm going to give you, normally I only give a month of my membership. I'm going to give 3 months of my membership. Plus, I'm going to give you $100 off of my Hacka Summit, which I will explain in a moment. And I'm going to give you a free ticket, which I will also talk about in a minute, to Club Escape. I love how you started dancing before I even said it. And I promise you, they didn't know what was in this bundle before I said it. And so if you click that link and fill out that form, I will send you all of your access. Okay. So you guys can re-add that link as you go, but I just wanted you to have it. So if at any point you're interested in chatting with me or learning more about how you can get involved in Hacka Summits, you can just click this link and that will give you all of that free stuff. And then I will also send you information about the Hacka Summits. So the reason why I want you to think about capture before exposure is because what if you knew that you were leaving money on the table? What would you do? You would fix it, right? You would fix the problem. You would become the MacGyver of your own life, right? So let's think about a paper cup filled with water. And let's say this paper cup filled with water is the sales process, okay? So you go out and you're getting your exposure. Let's say you're a public speaker, right? You go to an event. How many of you are speakers, right? So you go to an event, you speak in front of, I don't know, 40 to hundreds of people, right? And you're looking to capture some of those leads and walk away with either sales or leads, right? Okay, and maybe some of you are walking away with 1, 10, 15 of those. Okay, but the room had 40 to hundreds. So what happened to all those other leads? Right? So you're leaving money on the table because you had a room full of 100 people and maybe you walked away with 10, right? Okay, so what if you had a way to automatically capture everybody in the room, even if they didn't buy with you, right? So what's the rule of thumb? Why do people not do things? Because we're lazy. Really, it comes down to we are human beings. We are lazy. And even if you're a super hardworking person, which most of us on this call are, if not all of us, I say most because I don't know all of you, but I'm going to assume you're all hard workers. Even if you are a hard worker, we're still lazy. It just manifests in a different way. So for instance, the other day I was watching a home TV, like home decorating, right, on TV, and I think it's called Hometown. And so the gentleman on the show went to this man who's had a hut in the woods, and his job is to take bricks and make them thinner. So like to take a brick and to chop it into 3 pieces so you can use it as tile on a wall. And so all day long, he takes a brick and chops it into 3, and takes another brick and chops it into 3, and takes another brick and chops it into 3. How many of you are thinking, oh my God, that is my worst nightmare? That's what I was like, oh, heck no. I would automate that in about 5 minutes because I'm too lazy. There is no way I would sit there all day long. Can you imagine how backbreaking that would be? No way I would do that. I would automate it in a second. And the same is true for your lead capture. If somebody tries to come to you and they have a difficulty in giving you their information or giving you their money, they're just going to go find somebody else. Because they're going to think, if it's so difficult for you to just accept my money, how is it going to be for me to get results? Right? So if it's complicated, if it's confusing, if you give them too many options and they suffer from choice paralysis, these are all reasons that cause people to just walk away from you. So how do we fix that? The easiest way to fix that is to give them a simple solution for giving you their email address. So the easiest way to do that is for a mobile opt-in. So you text something to something and you get something for free, right? Now, the key here is you get something for free, right? And so the reason is because people, when they're texting, they're not thinking about the fact that they're giving you their phone number. They're just thinking about the fact that they're getting something for free. That's all they're thinking. So I text this thing. Oh, I text this thing and I get something for free. They're not thinking, oh, I'm giving them my phone number. Do I want to give them my phone number? Okay. So you're distracting them by giving them something for free. And it's simple. Text X, Y, and Z to A, B, and C and get your free thing. Okay? Everybody knows how to text these days. The way you can make it even less complicated is a couple of things. One is to keep your keyword less than 7 characters, okay? Because people remember things in 7s. So our memory bank is built in 7s. So if it's longer than 7, then they have to chunk it up. So make the word less than 7 characters. The other thing is choose a carrier that's phone number is less than 7 characters. So that way, if they have to remember it, then they can remember it, right? And the third thing is choose a word they know how to spell. Now, the thing is that most people don't know how to spell. So even if you think this is a word everybody knows how to spell, ask your 3rd grader if they know how to spell the word. Because if your 3rd grader can spell the word and how to say this nicely, if your 3rd grader is a genius, don't ask your 3rd grader, ask somebody else's 3rd grader. Okay, so you need somebody who's not a genius to answer the question, can I spell this word? Yeah, see, Tina just texted the word gratitude, and this is one that is often misspelled, okay? Now we have we have one of the most complicated languages on the planet, right? The thing about words is that sometimes they have multiple spellings. So don't use a word that has multiple spellings or that is known to be spelled incorrectly. Like, Lyft, I was going to say the Uber, no, Lyft, the car place, they spell it wrong. So if your keyword is Lyft, people are going to be like, is it L-I or L-Y? So that's a word that's, a little out there. But again, there's many words like discreet that are spelled multiple ways. Don't give people the confusion of, so my keyword is never my company name because I misspell the word wise. So I don't use it as a keyword for opt-ins. I use things like goal or emerald or, something like that. Sorry, I build a lot of keyword opt-ins for other people, so I know all their keywords too. Okay, so that's how you capture. So you automatically capture everybody in the room really early. So you say, just what I said earlier, if at any point you're interested in talking with me, learning more about me, working with me, learning about any of the services I offer, text such and such to such and such. Now you could text Go Digital to 26786. It'll give you the same thing as having clicked on that link. But clicking on that link will just give it to you all in one bundle. So I made it easier for you. Okay, so the next thing is the the exposure, right? So you have your capture in place. So now when you go out and you get the exposure, you have an automated way to capture that exposure. So how many of you are authors? Anyone? Yeah, okay. So, Angel will tell you, put a QR code in the back of your book or in the middle of your book or anywhere in your book. Put a keyword in there, anything. So this gives people an easy way to work with you. And, they bought your book, but now you're giving them ways to work with you directly. And how cool is that? They get to work with the author, right? So people think of authors as famous. And now they're like, oh, I get to work with a famous person. Yay, right? So you just put something in your book that gives them easy access to you. Surefire capture way. Surefire, like automated capture mechanism. We met this guy, he's a genius idea. He put his personal phone number on the cover of a book, right? To say, I bet you I can show you a better way. Text me to find out. Like, genius, right? Everybody loves a good challenge. So here he has all these people reaching out to him to find out the better way. Lead capture the whole time, all day long. All he's doing is lead capturing, right? And he is following up with them. He's making good on that promise. But at the end of the day, it's lead capture, right? Okay, so I just want to check how I'm doing on time. All right, cool. So the next thing is conversion. So how many of you have leads coming in and you have 100% conversion rate? Yeah, I thought so. So here's the thing is, again, if you are not automating, then you're leaving money on the table. So if you have a database of leads and your conversion rate isn't high, you're leaving all that money on the table. But here's the thing, you can increase your conversion by putting it later in the process, by putting follow-up before conversion. Because follow-up, just like capture was the automation of exposure, follow-up is the automation of conversion. So you build your automation to engage with your clients, that never-ending follow-up, and then you're anticipating their needs, you're providing them value before they need it, before they even want it, which is building that know, like, and trust, that KNTL funnel, right? So the way you do this is you build these sequences, right? You automate the email and the mobile campaigns to say, hey, so I saw you were interested in XYZ. What about this? Or what about that? Or how would you do this? Or how would you do that? How many of you got at least one email about this event? 2, 3, right? Do you think anybody that's associated with the summit actually physically sat down and sent all those emails out individually, one by one? No. Just because it's signed by somebody doesn't mean it was manually sent by that somebody. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're, I lost my train of thought for a second there. Okay, let me just. All right, so You're automating your follow-up process, right? You're talking to your clients about ways to work with you, ways that they can improve something, right? So I'm going to use Angel as an example because she has a foolproof automation process for follow-up, right? I've gotten the millions of emails from Angel. So Angel does a great job at, so you want more exposure. Here's how you get it. And then there's another email. Here's another way to get it. Oh, and by the way, did I mention, here's a third way to get it, and it's all free, right? Who doesn't love free stuff? And then she hits you somewhere else. She'll say, did you know you could be an author? Did you know you could get on podcast? Did you know you could have a TV show just like me? Right? Because she's giving you all the ways to get exposed that you can do it for free, right? So you can do the same thing. You're sending out all these emails. That's free information. Doesn't cost you anything because it's automated in the background. Sooner or later, somebody's going to be like, I want that, but I don't want to do it myself. And that's when you call somebody like Angel and you say, Angel, how do you get me on this TV show? Which is exactly what I did, by the way. I just was like, Angel, can you do this for me? Because I don't have the time. I'm building stuff for other people. So here's the thing. At the end of the day, can you get your own exposure? Yeah. Can you build your own gratitude process? Yeah. Can you put your own technology in place? Yeah. And, for all the other people on here, can you unblock your own obstacles? Can you renegotiate your own contracts? Yeah, you can do all of those things. How many of you have a to-do list that's longer than there are hours in the day? Yeah. So you can do all these things yourself. You can. Like at the end of the day, you could teach yourself how to do all these things. But the thing of the matter is, the reason why we say stay in your lane is because then you'll be working every day of your life, because you'll no longer be doing the thing you love, because you'll no longer have the time to do the thing that you love, because you will have spread yourself thin over doing all the things that you don't love to do, right? So the best strategy is to hire the people to do all the things that you don't know, don't want to, or don't have the time to do, and then focus on what you love to do. So what I did for this summit, for this pandemic, to remove all those barriers, to give people back some time, to reduce the expense of technology, to pivot and innovate like everybody else during these pandemic times, is I created something called the Hacka Summits. And what this is education meets done for you to create a done with you, so that you can get that automated capture in place, so that you can get that automated follow-up in place, so that you can then start to build the automation around delivering your products and services. And so then when you have the exposure, it's all coming in. It's all just feeding into all of your different systems, and you already have the follow-up processes in place. So now you're blessed with what the rest of us who have automation systems are blessed with. People are coming to you. So you actually will need, and I'm sorry, Angel, less exposure, because you'll find that you're actually converting more of the exposure you already got, and those clients will love you even more, so much more, that they'll bring you clients, which then means you'll need less exposure, right? So So that's the power of automation. That's the power of technology, is putting the automation in place so that you can best monetize the other aspects of the sales process. So you're monetizing your exposure, and you're monetizing your follow-up process, basically. And so we start with the capture, right? We start with the capturing all of that exposure. We go through, we build your mobile opt-in. If you already have a mobile opt-in, we'll build your email opt-in. But what we do is we build the automation behind that capture process. And so normally I sell this for $2.99, and for you all, I'm going to do it at $147. Yeah. So, but you have to click that original link, which I think I still have it in my, yep. So you click that link, and I'm only doing this for 10 people. So once the number hits 10, that's it. I'm turning it off. And so I'm going to do a class, and we're going to all build our capture automation together. So we're going to sit down and we're going to walk through. So you're going to actually build your own capture, but I'm going to hold your hand. It will take 3 hours, and you will have a completely automated capture system. So it's going to be 1 3-hour session, and we're just going to go all the way through your capture process. And then when you're done with that, you can sign up for the next class in the series, which will automate your follow-up process. And you'll be able to stand side by side with Angel and send all the beautiful emails that tell people how they can get their whatever your genius is for free if they, work with you. Right? So sound good? Was this valuable? Awesome. So if there's any questions, I think I have maybe 2 minutes. Oh, I have 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes. I can answer any questions. I know there's a breakout room, but if there's any general questions that you think would be good for everybody, I'm happy to answer those.
You did amazing. The fixer.
Thanks.
Every time she comes on, I learn something different, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of conversation going on, a lot of, I think, aha moments. In fact, if you had an aha moment, a breakthrough listening to Melanie about the process, and she's right, because she has automated and been able to automate and monetize the exposure, she does every now and then call me and she's like, can we just not put me out this week? Like she has been able, I always say, revenue and exposure, Melanie has automated that revenue piece. So she's right. Like we sometimes have to go, okay, well, let's just hold back and not so much exposure for her this week.
She told us last time on the first summit when we asked her to be on, she was like, no, I'm getting too much exposure. And we both went, what?
Because she has automated the system.
Yes.
Most people, they get exposure, but it's wasted because they don't have the opt-in, they don't have the follow-up, they don't have the systems in place. And so, yeah, she's got this thing dialed in. And for $147 for her Hacka Summit, that is just genius, because you think about how much exposure you're getting and how many more clients you can bring through your sales funnel within 90 days, right? All of a sudden you're going to be saying, Angel, no more exposure.
Right? And is there enough exposure for all of us? I'm like, Angel, I need more. And Melanie's like, no, because once we all started pivoting, everybody, and she's been telling everybody for the last almost year, go online. You need an online course. Go online. And then once we all had to go online, everybody hired her. All in the same week. She called me. She's like, I have too many clients.
Yep.
And you're going to learn how to scale that, how to digitize that so that you are serving so many more clients, but it's all digital and automated.
So I think I have 2 minutes. I forgot. Can I talk about the Club Escape?
Yeah.
Okay. So Michelle Jewsbury, who I think is on this call as well, is my co-host in this. So we have put together our own virtual summit, but we wanted to do something that was completely different because we also are suffering from summit fatigue. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm suffering from monotony. Mm-hmm. So I said to Tina when this first started, I was like, this couldn't have come at a better time for my business because it allowed me to focus and innovate and create even more infrastructure and automation for myself and for my clients and all this stuff. But at the same time, and also I'm an introvert, so just love a good
She's
moment.
Loving this part.
Yeah, just love a good like introversion moment of being able to create. But it's been 6 weeks, and you know, even an introvert. Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I miss hugs.
What? The one person who don't like hugs misses hugs?
No, I like hugs.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't miss all the chatter, but I miss the hugs. Right. So anyway, you know, I wanted to break up this monotony, and Michelle approached me and asked me if I would co-host an event with her, and I said only if we can do something completely different, and she was game. So we brainstormed, we came up with a bunch of solutions, and the one we landed on was a virtual nightclub. Yay, I'm so excited about this. So we came up with a virtual nightclub, and Michelle, if you want to come off mute and join me in this. So we came up with a virtual nightclub. We are going to have guests, all sorts of guests that are all entertainers. There's no sales, there's no opt-ins, it's nothing like that. It's literally meant to be a give back. So if you have, sorry, that's my timer. If you have perfect clients that you want to gift gratitude to them, you can gift them a ticket. And we created a bundle package of 10 tickets. So that's buy 5, get 5 free. And if you do that, then you can, you know, save half the money and gift these to your clients. And again, you can just opt in, and I'll gift you 1 ticket, and then I'll send you the link to buy your own. And Michelle put the Eventbrite in here as well, so you can just sign up for your ticket.
So Michelle and Melanie, what can we expect at this Club Escape besides, you know, partying like a rock star and dropping it like it's hot?
So we're bringing together all sorts of different types of acts. So we're trying to cater to as many different people as possible. So we have some musicians, we have dance party, we have burlesque, we have, I think we have a cooking show. We have, we're working on a drag queen to show us the optimal ways of putting on makeup. We have spoken word. Yes, Peace is going to be on, so you won't want to miss that.
You go, Angel, you and me, baby, for the burlesque.
Yeah, and Angel, I don't know if you've heard us talking online, but we need your disco ball, so you must be present, so that way you can bring your disco ball. So we're going to have 2 breakout rooms. So we'll have some high action in one room and some mellow in the other. And, you know, so you get to choose what you're feeling, whether you want to, you know, pump it up with dance music, or whether you want to be peaceful with spoken word or something like that. We have comedy acts. We have all sorts of different stuff. So one ticket's $20 or $150 for 10 tickets. And we're super excited. It'll be on the 9th of May.
Love it. I love it. All right. So we're going to send Miss Melanie and maybe even Michelle into the breakout room.